good evening. This is your friend Dharam. Today we are meeting with another exciting personality. He happened to be from Vancouver, Canada. Mehdi, welcome. How are you, Mehdi?
Hi there. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
great to have you
I'm
here.
gonna say hello to our audiences here in this webinar.
Yeah, so Mehdi is PMP, recently passed the PMP exam. And as you probably know, I am running webinars. This is probably 350th webinar or maybe more. Every time somebody, pass the exam or something, somebody has exciting things to offer, I bring them to the webinar and try to extract as much information as I can. So, yeah, I'd like to welcome all of you today, and it's always a pleasure to have you in the webinar. And if you're joining for first time, you're welcome. If you're joining again, repeat, yeah, you're welcome again. So I do have a PDU code to offer, which I will give you at a later stage. And if you're watching this as a video, record it, because I'm recording this session. I will be putting this recording on the YouTube. So if you're watching this as a recording, if you need a PDU code, reach out to me. Dharam, I need a PDU code. I watched this webinar with it. This is, I like to know how you really watched it, because that's what important thing is. You watch and learn from this. PDU is your bonus. Okay. So Mehdi is coming with lots of experience. They call it HSQE, which is
Yep.
health, safety, quality, and environment, and system assurance. Happened to working in the British Columbia, Canada, Vancouver. So you got certified on 7th of February. Is it correct? 7th
Yep.
February 2025. And you put a lot of effort, of course, and you passed the exam with flying colors.
Yeah.
So,
I want to thank you so much for inviting me to this webinar and sharing my experience for PMP certification as well. And I want to thank you for all participants here. I hope they enjoy our conversation here today. And I hope our webinar is useful, worthwhile for those who are online now or those might watch the video later in YouTube or on other social media. And if I wanted to share some word about my background, I would say I have more than 20 years of experience in field of quality and HSE as well. Um, I have worked with a wide variety of discipline industries like oil and gas, mining, public transportation, municipal organizations in my home country, Iran. And here now I serve as a quality and system assurance senior specialist, where I'm responsible for managing all aspects of quality and also HSE management system. I've been working in ProTrans BC, which is one of the AtkinsRéalis subsidiaries, providing railway, light railway commuting services in Vancouver, BC, Canada. And just for adjusting our conversation based on the project that we have this time, we just responsible here in our organization providing operation and maintenance services, and most of our projects are major maintenance projects here. I can share with you some information about my experience here related to these projects.
all right, so let me go through this. Today is very interesting topic. We're talking about project management with assurance, and we're looking from global perspective. And here
Yep.
we have Mehdi with expertise, knowledge about, assurance, quality assurance.
Yep.
All right, so I do have a set of questions, Mehdi, and for everybody, but I will encourage all of you guys to write or put your questions, as many questions as you can, on the question pad. Can you please, somebody can, or maybe I will encourage everyone to at least write something so you get started with the question pad, at least to say you can hear us and you can see us okay. Because currently, if you don't know, I am currently in Sydney, Australia, early morning here. And normally you'll find me in Dallas, but I'm visiting Sydney. I will be here for another month. If you are in Sydney or in Australia, say hello to me, and I would love to catch up with you. If you're especially in Sydney, have a coffee or lunch. Why not together? Anyway, so that's okay. Now coming to my set of questions, I will be asking questions. Mehdi will answer those questions, and you can ask follow-up questions or any other question related to the topic we have today, or anything if you want to ask me about certification or anything. Happy to answer those questions. What made you to pursue the PMP certification? And I'd like to know, how has it changed the way you manage your project globally?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I want to thank you for providing PMP training here in Vancouver. You train all our managerial team, and it's really helped us to level up our knowledge about project management in our system, and it facilitated my goal to design a project management program in our system. And your high quality training exactly encouraged me to pursue PMP certifications. And I really appreciate for all your support and material that you share with me after the training, and you guided me how to be successful during the exam. And I really appreciate. Without your help, it was not achievable for me. To answer your question, I would say that I personally is active learner. And I love to learn more about new skills and specifically soft skills. As a quality assurance and system assurance, I've been deeply involved in process optimization and the compliance and cross-functional collaboration in our system. Over the time, I realized that the challenge I faced is related to soft skill and norm and typically project management challenges. That's why I decided to level up my knowledge and skills in this field. Um, PMP certification for me was a strategic decision. It helped me to formalize my knowledge, and it gives me a structured framework to manage the project that I'm responsible and help the project manager in our system in different project phases, from planning, execution, and closing phases. Also, uh, it helped me to learn more about different skills and tools. And since I've obtained the certifications, I'm more confident to use different approaches. For example, for the first time, I was exposed to uh, mm, um, different approaches like adaptive approach, hybrid, and predictive. Was it traditional? And I learned how to use the different tools. For example, stakeholder engagement metrics, requirements metrics, scope management, and RACI, and many tools that you introduced during the training, and I've learned during the training and preparation for the exam. Uh, it absolutely enhanced my ability to better communication with our leadership about the different phase of the project, how to embed it, different aspect of project management into our existing projects, and also help me speak in a common language with different project teams in different regions across the world, because AtkinsRéalis, as you know, is a company that has a lots of projects across the world, and I have a close relationship with other department, specifically quality department. It's really helped me to make a common language with them. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, definitely you have highlighted number of advantage you are having because of your learning for the project management. Look, any certification, BMP or PgMP or PfMP, any other certificate PMI has, is about, of course, you would love to have this acronym behind the name on LinkedIn or wherever. But most important, what we're learning from these certification, and what and how we're going to help the organization by using the common language, the standard way of doing things, So that's where the focus should be, and that's what you are gaining out of this. Beautiful. Okay, my next question to you is, how do you bring quality and assurance into project management from the very beginning of a project? And very important to start with the quality and setting the right expectation.
Yeah, as you know, quality isn't something that you inspect at the end of the projects. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do believe quality need to be embedded from early stage of project and pursue in the
Of
next
course.
steps. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've learned to embed the quality specifications from initial phase, for example, for when developing project charter or defining the scope, and in a stakeholder engagement strategies, we need to consider all quality aspect of the work. As a first step, I try to work with project managers to define what does quality means in your projects. Yeah, and based on this definition, I need to make sure that yeah, for example, uh, this meets the project deliverables. I work closely with our engineering department to make sure that all standards and technical specifications cover quality requirements as well, and integrating quality audit and quality gates into the project scheduling. Yeah, and put in the milestones, different milestones for quality check as a checkpoint in our projects. And also, I work closely with cross-functional team in our system at the first step, defining the quality specifications during the project, define a checkpoints as inspections and audits, and at the end to make sure that all deliverables are met and we could achieve the quality specifications as well based on the client's expectation and other stakeholders.
Perfect. Good. Okay.
And
Great.
also, I can share with you a recent experience in one of our projects. We wanted to develop SOW as a project charter
Yeah.
for doing some rail testing. I don't want to go more detail because I'm not allowed to share more detailed information about my system. Just for example, for embedding one of the quality specification, I had to connect with one Canadian regulatory body to make sure that we have to meet their requirements for the technicians qualification for testing in our system, because we have
Yeah.
a Canadian certification for that testing activities, and we wanted to make sure is it mandatory requirements for us or not. And we receive the response and update our SOW based on their response to make sure that we meet the quality of the staff for performing this project.
Okay. Great. So you mean like you said, you should be having quality from inbuilt from the very beginning, and with
Yeah,
the
early.
right processes. Yeah. Um, so, I mean, that's what it should be. It should not be okay. Now the product is ready. Let's do the test. No, it should have been done, especially when the
Mm,
kind of work you do, building a train or infrastructure or whatever. This should be started from the early stage with
mhm,
the regulatory compliance, anything, everything in mind, and making sure we have all the process set for, meeting those requirements.
mm. Yep.
Why is assurance important for project success? Especially when you talk about high risk industries like construction or infrastructure. And yours especially, that Canada Rail and running people traveling in that.
Yeah. I do believe assurance is not just important, it's essential, specifically in high risk and regulated industry, kind of like our industry as a commuting railway industry. We have to follow Railway Act, Railway Safety Act in our system. That's why the margin for error is incredibly small for our industry. Mistakes can lead to catastrophic events, safety hazards, regulatory violation, financial losses, and reputational damage. It's
Yeah.
so important that we have system assurance in our system to make sure that we follow all requirements and stakeholder expectations. Uh, that's why assurance provides a framework for accountability, consistency, and risk mitigation for us. And also assurance make a trustable environment with our stakeholder. When everything is documented and clear enough, they can trust you that you follow all
Yeah.
requirements or expectation in a systematic approach. And assurance plays a critical role in early detection issues. Yeah, and also having proactive approach to overcome the barrier in advance instead of having reactive firefighting approach. Assurance provide proactive approach to find any issues in advance to prevent catastrophic consequences in high risk industries. And yep, and as I said, it builds confidence in outcomes, and by
Yeah.
having system assurance and systematic approach, all stakeholder, all bodies are more confident about the results.
Yeah. Perfect. So, and well, as you talked about high risk environment, especially yours, where slight mistake means big disaster. Because
Yeah,
it's your trains are non-man driven. It's a auto control. Is it correct?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, we have some problem previously with some projects that lack of enough documentation, enough systematic approach, enough procedure reporting system, just our concern about the quality of their services, and we try to train them, support them to have more systematic, more structured framework for reporting, for documentation, for having proactive approach in our system. Yeah, because we cannot inspect everything at all stage at all the time and have a police approach in our system. Having assurance can make sure just by auditing the process with high possibility get the better results.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Who are the key people you involve to make sure your project quality and safety standards are met?
Yeah, ensuring quality and safety in this project is a team effort. It's not just for
Yeah.
one person or one department activities. Yeah, we need to work
Yeah.
together collaboratively, closely to achieve the intended outcomes. Typically, as a priority, finding the right people and all stakeholders is very critical at the beginning stage of the project. For me, my experience here as a quality assurance specialist here that's responsible for making sure that all aspects of quality are considered in all phases of project, I work closely with project managers to make sure that the quality requirements align with overall business goals, work closely with engineering teams to make sure that all um, uh, standard or quality standards embedded in technical specifications, and work with my colleagues in health and safety because we work in a high risk environment for the public, for the passengers, and our staff in some maintenance activities to make sure the risk assessment and critical works and mitigations measures are considered as part of the requirements here, and work closely with the regulatory body to make sure that we meet the requirements, understand clearly their expectation, because sometimes we are in a gray area. Sometimes in Canada, we need to make sure, do we need to follow Canadian standards or the US or North America standards or European norms are applicable for us. Sometimes we are in a gray area. We need to make sure that clarify the requirements for our projects, and sometimes work closely with our client representative to get their feedback and their concern, and to make sure we meet the expectation and adjust our activities based on their needs. And the critical point is involving them and identifying their expectations and their needs early on in projects, and having open and clearly and effective communication with them is so critical. And having in advance communication plans and also collaborative approach help us to reduce the risk for the projects, and also build the culture of continuous accountability.
Good. I mean, that's very, very important to make sure you know your stakeholders and you engage with them at the right time. So making sure you understand the expectation and your team is meeting the expectation, building relationship. Sometimes building relationships is very, very important. How do you handle situation where compliance requirement conflicts with tight project deadlines? We're all working on the tight
I
deadlines.
Yeah, tight deadlines, a common challenge. Yeah, specifically
Like,
in regulated industry like us, because we have to
mm,
report and respond to their expectation, to their concern time to time, and meet the regulatory requirements. For example, here for us, Railway Safety Act is the highest level regulation. We have to meet its requirements. And as you know, compliance is not negotiable. We must
yep.
meet and follow the regulatory requirements. At the earliest stage of the project, we try to find all applicable regulatory requirements and consider this as a milestone, and integrated this into the project schedule, and try to map out regulatory requirements alongside project milestone to make sure all of them is integrated together, is a smooth run of the projects. And sometimes when we identify some bottlenecks and some conflicts between timeline and meeting the regulatory requirements, my approach is using risk-based priorities. Yeah, to find the most critical items, and when items can be compromised, and having clear and effective communication with the stakeholder and regulatory body can help us to adjust our timeline, and meeting the requirements, considering and identifying which activities is critical from legal perspective, safety perspective, commercial perspective, client expectation as key stakeholders perspective, and adjust our plan. And having effective communication, as I said, is so critical to achieve the result on time, and with complying the regulatory um, requirements. We need to communicate effectively with them about pros and cons in simply ways, and to know what's at stake here, and get their support for the projects as well.
Yep.
Yeah, but always it is challenging to make a balance between the commercial requirements and regulatory requirements, and uh, reach the best result at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, you cannot compromise the quality and you beating the deadline as well.
Yeah,
shareholders, stakeholders, money involved, investment involved, and so many things.
yeah. But what
Yeah,
is
so
important
that's what.
is that having risk-based approach and documents everything and update your issue log for future future lesson learned. Yeah, how to prevent for future projects.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, so lesson learned, of course, that's something we all should be capturing so that we can avoid such problem in future, and we learn from the current project and we continue to do better and better. When you moved from Iran to Canada,
Yeah.
obviously some time back, what project challenges did you face, and how did you adapt your approach? Because of course, country to country, immigration and all this, there are many challenges. Other than, I mean, language can be one of them, but other than cultural and other things.
Yeah, for sure. Moving from Iran to Canada was significant transition, both personally and professionally for me, specifically from project management perspective, because project management in Iran has their own specific challenges, more bureaucratic and I can say hierarchical approach to this, and the level of the uncertainty was high in projects in
Mm,
Iran because of sanction, inflation, um, currency fluctuations, shifts in governmental policies and leadership, and time to time change the project priorities. It was so challenging environment. And for me,
mm,
my transition in Canada, and the most challenging part for me was adapting myself with different organizational cultures and also communication style. Work in an area with diverse cultures, and specifically in a regulated industry, I have to learn quickly um, the regulatory structure and Canadian standards and code which are applicable for my activities here. It was so challenging. I tried to learn, study, work closely with professional, and uh, getting mentored to more about this structure, technical aspects, and different learning more about the culture here. For example, here I work in a unionized environment, which is completely different from Iranian working environment. It was so challenging to me, but I try to learn more and adapt myself. And also, PMP certification helped me to bridge the gaps to
mm.
be more aligned with the highest project management standards here, specifically in North America, to know more about the structured system here for project management, and helped me a lot to make a common language with our colleagues and other team members.
Yeah, look, I myself migrated from India to Australia long time back, of course,
Yeah.
I mean, 98. Then it is always a big, and for me, it was first time sitting in the plane, coming all the way from India, and then never worked in the,
Mm.
high-tech environment. Suddenly, new environment, new people, new language, even though in school we have learned speaking English, but again, when you sitting in the room with people speaking so fluently, is a whoosh, 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 all the bouncers going on the top of your head.
Yeah.
But of course, that's where the learning. You need to find yourself. Okay, you know what? I have to learn. I have to learn with a new way of doing things, and
Mm.
adopting with the culture and learning with the, because you cannot expect their change for you. You need to change for the environment, and more faster you do is good for you. How do you see AI impacting project quality assurance and project risk management in the next few years?
Yeah, very good questions. And as you know, AI is already beginning to reshape how we approach the quality assurance, and I think its impact will grow significantly in coming years. I think AI can help us to automate routine inspections, analyzing large volume of data, and also get information from sensors system to analyze better and get a result faster to us, and detect anomaly faster based on the data, historical data here, and can analyze to predict the future anomalies in our system. And from risk management perspective, I think it could be a good tool as a and provide predictive capability for us and make some standards approach how to deal with the risk in future based on historical data in our system. And also AI can forecast potential risk in our
Yeah.
system, and enhance decision making, improve compliance, and drive continual improvement in our system. And I do believe AI should complement and not replace human judgment. Yeah, we can use AI as a tool to help us to have better decisions to improve our system, not completely rely on AI and assign everything to AI, just rely as a tool. I think final decision could be by human and experts. And yeah, the AI can help us to move from reactive approach to proactive
Yeah.
quality
Yeah.
assurance, and from static risk management and risk register to dynamic and more proactive risk management.
Oh yeah, for sure. Look, AI, artificial intelligence, is it's part of us now. We used to think few years ago AI coming buzzword. Now is here, and more you can adopt, you will be beneficial. As you mentioned, adaptive, risk identification, tracking, or based on your data, looking at the data quality, you can start predicting the risk, and you can be more proactively ready for that. What is risk is, if you know what is about to happen and you're ready for that, you can be better controlled, better managed. Same thing goes with quality. Yep, quality. Based on data and analytics you have, you can improve your quality expectation, quality management, and everything. So you be part of it. Don't feel. Of course, it's impacting some jobs and making automation, but and my I'm seeing many people are coming and that I need to be more ready for this a new word. It's not too late. Learn. Certification going to help. When the time comes, they want to reorganize. Some people who are more in demand, like expertise and knowledge and experience and certified, and a little bit of knowledge, and if you know about AI, how can we use AI in improve our productivity, improve the profitability of the organization. All this will definitely help you. So my one suggestion is get yourself certified if you're not done, because this will be ready for this environment. PMI do, they started some new certificate in AI, so you can also learn about them and learn about some traditional certificate like PMP, PgMP, PfMP, and not just to do like some of these roles can be, you can see that running the project, but you may be part of the strategic decision making. So yeah, what advice would you give to professional in safety, quality,
Hmm.
or engineering roles who want to grow into the project leaders like you?
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Typically, my advice is as general is to embrace the bigger picture. Normally, as a quality assurance, we often focus deeply on technical aspects, and this is a time to grow into leadership and don't underestimate the soft skills. Work
Yeah.
on, yeah, to enhance your knowledge and skills for using the soft skill like communications, how to manage conflicts, uh, how to communicate clearly and bridge disciplines, how to manage uncertainty, and my always advice is continuously learn, being an active learner. The other advice I can say, you can start by getting involved in cross-functional project, volunteer to lead initiatives, even small ones. It doesn't matter. Just practice how to planning, communicate, decision making in a projects, and to build your confidence and visibility as a leader, and work on, as I said, work on your soft skill, and also try to get a formal project management training like PMP. Yeah, and because I have a very good experience by your training, Dharam. Without any doubt,
Mm,
I learned a lot in your training. 5 days full training, very engaging, very valuable, very useful, beneficial for all of us. And I recommend that if you can, yeah, attend formal project management training, give you more structured framework to know how to use the tools in the different phase of the projects, and different approach you can use, new approaches are in the new version. And yeah, and if you bring your technical strengths into this mindset, I can reassure you that you will be well on your way to becoming a trusted and impactful leader in projects. Yeah, just work on yourself. Don't stop yourself. Learn, 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 practice, 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 as a general advice for you.
definitely. Learn, 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 practice, practice, practice. More you learn, more you're going to be,
Yeah,
better in your job. And then you, as you mentioned, be try to volunteer yourself, trying to learn from other projects as well. More try to gain more experience. If you're already project manager, see if you can get yourself into program management role, or maybe small programs, and try to build your knowledge. More better ready. It is better to be ready than you realize, okay, I should have done it. So do the certificate, do the learning part, and when you're running the project programs and portfolio, you are more prepared. Okay, good. Thanks for the great advice. And I actually put on the chat. You guys can take a note of this. The course identifier for PDU claim code. Take a note of that. If you want to talk to me about any certification requirement, anything else, you can book my time on www.talktodharam.com. And I also mention again this discount code coupon is in case you want to do some certificates or programs with me. Happy to offer you something as part of your joining this program. Hopefully, save some $100 something. Okay. I have other question. One more question. This is coming during the registration. And what should be the strategy to keep up with the deliverables to explain progress to client?
yeah, the
Thanks,
good
Amit.
question. First, first of all, we need to know the definition of the deliverable. What does it mean? What does it mean for your project? Deliverable
Yeah.
is tangible and intangible outcome of the project. You need to define correctly all of them. And then validate this with for stakeholders. Does it cover all expectation or not? And then use visual tracking tools, yeah, to track them and show them to your clients or other stakeholders like Gantt chart, Kanban board, or dashboard. And you can establish a regular reporting system or reporting cadences for that,
Yeah.
and also communicate transparently, clearly with the stakeholders the result in the specific periods as you define as a milestone in your project schedule. If you use, for example, adaptive approach, different methods, it's predictive approach, different methods. And leverage project management tools like based on your discretion, use project Microsoft Project, Monday.com, or even a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet to leverage these tools, and also maintain and centralize documentation hub. Centralize all of them, that all stakeholder based on your access policy have access to different level of the documentation in your system, and the result and the monitoring result in your system, and also schedule and conduct client review sessions with them, and use the tools and visual tools to present them the result and get their feedback and adopt your project based on their feedback, and be as much as flexible you can based on their comments, and align with the deliverables and project outcomes. Yeah, this is as a general advice to keep up the clients based on the deliverable. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It was great to have you in this webinar. You share a lot of knowledge, and as an expert in quality assurance and compliance, and working on the project mega, I know you guys work on a very big, large project and programs, and using that expertise, knowledge, and helping everybody else. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Yeah, so one thing I like to advise people joining today is another webinar is coming up on August 7th. This is Erica. Erica is from, I think, San Antonio in US, and she had done PgMP and then PfMP recently. So you're going to learn a lot about from that topic. So if you are not registered, please join that. I'm sure you're going to find that program equally very, very useful and engaging. So Mehdi, once again, thank you for the contribution you made today to the people who are listening. I'm sure they, even if they pick a slightest one tip from you, your job is done. Okay. So, and thank you all of you to join today. It was great to have you here, and love to see if you want to join my program. If you like, Mehdi invited me to the company for running the program, PMP program, and I love to come to your city. If your company send me a request, happy to work with you and make sure you and your team get the certification. All right. Any last minute thoughts from you?
Thank you, Dharam, for inviting me and having me in this webinar. I hope it was useful for our audiences, and I hope they have a good career to get their certifications and provide the higher level of quality for their projects. Yeah. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking the time and investing at kind of like this webinars and releasing this in social media for free. And thank you for all your efforts and your engagements and investing in this. Thank you so much.
All the best. All right. See you again soon. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.